Welcome to Morning Talk. It is 10:30 or 10:30 and it is the 5th. I don't know. No, the 4th. May the 4th be with you. To all my fellow Lucas heads or Star Wars heads or whatever you're called. I'm a Star Trek person myself. I think Alcubierre.
His name is Miguel Alcubierre. He is a Mexican theoretical physicist, and he is the one who came up with the Alcubierre Drive.
That way we could travel, interdimensional distances without time traveling, without having to go through time dilation. What's his name? Alcubierre. Let's look it up. That's why I brought the trusty Chromebook. It's Linux. It's not iOS. And speaking of iOS, I want my iPhone 14 yellow. Someone please give me free stuff. I just got I have an address now where you can send me free stuff. Oh, okay. And also I have a lot of places where you can donate. Since my job search is not going well, it's very limited, but I want it to be that way because, one, I'm not gonna toil and off the sweat of my brow for a wage which can't even afford food, let alone like rent and utilities. All the meantime, our daughter's at home, and I'm missing out, time with her. Although sometimes when mom gets mad at me, she likes to take her into her room, into Mariah's room, because it's Mariah's room, and she likes to all of a sudden be the nice person, and that's my opinion at least. I could be wrong. And then that means I spend less time with my daughter, which is okay by me. As long as she's happy, that's all that matters. And of course, I would want her mom to be nice, and not just to pretend, and not just because she was mean, but genuinely, deep down, I want her to be a kind-hearted person. All right, now, why did I bring this computer out here for? I don't know. I want to say good morning. I think I made a couple shorts. I made the short to commemorate Camp Nou 50th anniversary back in 2007. If I remember, I don't remember football back then because I wasn't watching much of it. But I don't know. I don't think Pep Guardiola was their coach yet. I don't think he became coach till either 2008 or 2009, and then that's when they were unstoppable. Luis Enrique Martinez also. He was also, he also got them in trouble. I don't know if he got them all the medals. I think with Guardiola, they got all the medals. And speaking of which, if you're watching Premier League, Arsenal, the whole season, they were the favorites. And now Guardiola somehow has worked his magic, and it's down to a 1.2 point, who's gonna win the league thing. So that ought to be interesting. So thank you for watching. I have nothing really to say. So I'm just blabbering. So thank you for watching my flapper flap. Thank you for watching my ugly mug. And what did I get done so far this morning? Well, according to mom, I don't do anything. So I've been playing a running gag on her where every single time I do something, I send her a text message and I say, oh, mami, qué lástima que yo soy un vagamundo y hago absolutamente nada. Por ejemplo, esto que se hizo así aquí, yo no lo hice. Meaning that, mom, too bad that I'm a vagabond and I don't do absolutely nothing. And then the thing that I did, I say, too bad that this thing that was done, I didn't do it because I'm such a vagabond. And I'm not saying I do all the most things in the world, but being the fact that I'm unemployed, I gotta find things to keep me busy so I can stay out of trouble. Obviously, taking care of our daughter is my number one priority. I put her first above anything. But when mom, again, in my opinion, I feel like she uses her as an asset. Like, if we get in a fight, she will bring her into her daughter's room, and then they'll lock themselves in there on purpose, and they won't allow me to go in there. But if Mariah's happy with it, but then again, at the same time, Mariah, I think there's a difference. You know how they say in the Bible that you should have a fear of God? You should have a healthy fear of God. There's a big difference. You shouldn't fear him because you think he's going to do something bad for you. You should fear him because you should fear the repercussions that you're going to get, if you lead a life, that is sinful and, whatever. But in our daughter's case, and then again, IMO, I think she has a fear of that if she doesn't do as told, she's going to get scolded at, she's going to get, yelled at, she's going to get punished. But most of the time, Mariah has been a soldier. She's been taking things into her own hands. She's actually been violent towards her mom, which I do not condone. But then at the end of the day, like when she tells me about what happens, and then not only that, but one day I did eavesdrop. I was listening in because, the room is right there. And I was listening to the way that mom talked to the daughter. And if anybody talked to me like that, of course I'd be kicking at them and trying to hurt them, because in IMO it was just completely disrespectful. Now, I'm sure my number one commenter is gonna have something to comment about in this video, and if she doesn't, I'd be surprised. I actually hope so, because I like comments. And I do tell Mariah that, you have to earn respect. I don't want it to be the other way around and that she disrespects mom either, which could also be possible. And if that is the case, then mom does have a point. So, I'm not here to hold sides. I'm just here to try to maintain order and maintain peace. And also, at the same time, instill values in our daughter so that she knows who she is, she knows what she stands for, before it's too late. Because, like the saying goes, if you don't know what you stand for, then you'll fall for anything. And unfortunately, a lot of children, they don't have direction in life. And those are the ones that end up falling for anything. I'm not going to name any names because off the top of my head, I can't really think of any. Yes, I can. And it's just sad because, it hurts me to see that, a human life that could have had so much potential, just throw it down the drain. But at the same time, it makes me happy to see that people that are born in the worst condition, where maybe, they're where they're born into, they might not have running water, they might not have electricity, but then again, they're motivated. They're motivated to get out of that situation, and then therefore they excel. They do good in their schooling. They surpass. They are able to over surpass all of the obstacles in front of them, and then able to do something with themselves. Now that right there is very noteworthy. And sometimes these people don't have support. It's just that they want it that bad. And I give them a lot of credit, because they deserve it. And they deserve every single good thing that comes to them. Because in spite of their background and where they came from, they made something of themselves. Now, the problem, like I said, which, children nowadays, they have too much free time in their hands, because of the fact that I live in suburbia. There's not a lot of things for kids to do. There's not a lot of age appropriate things. You need a car, so until you turn 16, and by the time you turn 16, more than likely, you did not have any values instilled in you. So you turn 16, you get a car. Not everybody, but some people. You get a car, and then you go out and you do all these crazy things, And thank goodness my sisters didn't turn out that way. Praise them for that. And they've done very well for themselves. I mean, I don't know if in every aspect of life, but in what they really wanted, they got it. And part of the reason is because my saintful parents were there for them, to instill value for them. Me, I was too hard-headed. I felt like, I don't know, maybe because when I came to this country, I felt like I had to all of a suddenly change, and I didn't have, the two people I loved for most of my life, which were they were literally my best friends, and also my support group, and then all of a sudden I was by my own, even though I had mom and dad. But mom and dad, they did their best to provide for us, and in a way, they did provide for us. I had gotten a computer when I was 12 or 13. I was the first person in school to get a cell phone. That was back when, if you had a cell phone in 7th grade, that was a big deal. Nowadays, people have cell phones in elementary schools, and it's no big deal. When I had a cell phone, it was such an oddity that when I went into the principal's office one day, and the Officer Carmen, I think his name was, he walked in and he saw the cell phone, and he literally ran the number through to make sure it wasn't stolen. Thank you for thinking that I am such a decent person that would go out and steal a cell phone. Thank you so much. And also, thank you for ruining my life by putting a label on me. So in other words, when the police are called or anywhere around this area, because of the fact that I didn't want to go to school, so mom called the school, and then they said just call the school resource officers. He'll go there and he'll talk to him, and he'll try to get him to go to school. That's what they told her, and that's what she was under the impression. So she didn't do anything wrong. And what did the mother effer do? He came in while I was half asleep. He grabbed me by the arm and put me in like an arm lock. And as soon as he did that, my instant reaction, is get away, get off of me, I don't care who you are. Somebody's holding you. It doesn't matter whether it's a cop. It doesn't matter whether it's a 12-year-old. It doesn't matter whether, it's an 80-year-old. You want to be freed. You don't want to be held. You don't want to be tamed by anybody, especially when you've done nothing wrong. And what was I doing wrong? I was sleeping, okay? And then in the process of that, I had dragged him around the house. And while I was dragging him around the house, there was a frame on the wall, which was, which had glass on it. It was a picture frame with glass on it. And the mother effer hit himself against the glass, and he got a little cut. So not only did he, I forgot what other charges he might have put, but the only one that I remember was battery on a law enforcement officer, or battery on a Leo, as some people like to call it. So ever since then, I've been known as the cop hater, which is not true at all. I think of police officers as, for the most part, public workers. The ones that are crooked, so be it. And you know which ones they are. They're the ones that have vacation homes. They're the ones that have boats. They're the ones, all of this on a cop salary. Come on. I've known of police officers, what they do is either they confiscate the drugs from other people, or they get the shipments themselves, and then they go down to Miami. In this one instance, I think it was Little Haiti. He had a guy over there who he supplied. The guy sold for him. And at the end of the day, the guy gave the police officer his quota. So, but that's just one example. Not all officers are like that. There are some that are very decent human beings and actually care about you. I've met a lot of those in my life. And also, as of late, because, a lot of time has passed and I have grown, I believe, more and more into an adult. I left my childish way behind. When I get confronted by police, they no longer fear of me as a threat. They know that I am in no way, shape, or form a threat. I do not own or carry any firearms. If someone was to come up to me with a gun and wanted to kill me, I'd be like, go ahead, man. What do I got? I got nothing. I have my daughter, but I don't even have proper education to get a proper job to be able to, because essentially I don't just have to take care of my daughter, I would have to take care of her mom, because her mom is a self-proclaimed disabled. And the reason why I say self-proclaimed, before you go in the comments and say, oh, is because you are still not legally disabled, okay? Until you're legally disabled, then you can say, I am disabled. Until then, you are just self-proclaimed disabled, okay? Now, do I want you to get your disability? Yes, I do. But I also would like for you to try to, even though you say you're in pain all the time, I remember, this just happened maybe a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. I sleep on the couch. I don't have a bed. I sleep on the couch in the living room, and I was awake. She didn't know I was awake, and I had like one eye open trying to peek, and I saw her walking just like normal, walking to the kitchen, doing her thing. She likes to go in and wake up at night, whatever, and then walk back just fine. And when I mean walking, I don't mean like this, which is how she normally she'll be bent over and she'll be like, oh, I can't even walk. No, it was like this. So, things like that, it kind of makes me wonder, like, am I being played a fool? And of course I am. So, and then the other day, my father, and I'm a firm believer of honoring your parents, okay? Whether you didn't ask for life or not, you still need to honor your parents, okay? I am a firm believer in that, okay? And my father said, do not speak with her anymore. He has his reasons behind it, okay? And I could sit here and I could explain to them, but the people that know the reasons that he has behind them, they know the reasons, okay? So he told me not to speak to her again. So because out of respect and out of honoring my dad, I did as he wished. And then what did I get? And then what did I get in return? I got called a bitch. I got called a little boy. I said that I was told that I'm not a man, that this and that. So now I'm not a man because I honor my dad. Anyways, I'm crying. Let's talk about something happy, okay? My Dutch bicycle, which I had just gotten the other day for a really good price from a friend of mine named Rob, just got a flat in the back tire. It happened about 2 days ago. And before my Dutch bike, I had a 2004 Trek 4900, which also kept getting flats in the back tire. But this is a little different because these have mountain bike tires, and these aren't cheap tires either. These are like $80 tires. It's a subdivision of Specialized. I forget the name. Here, I'll tell you right now. Let me see what it is. Ground Control. Is that the name? Ground Control Gripton. It's called Gripton. It says Ground Control Gripton. Yeah, Ground Control Grip and then Gripton. It's a subdivision of Specialized, and obviously bicycle is my main form of transportation. So I went with the higher end tires. The tires work perfect. I even got them rotated because obviously, because of the distribution of weight, the back tire always wears out first. So when I was getting a new tire put in, I asked the technician, I said, could you please rotate the tires so that the back one goes to the front and then the new one goes to the back? And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. But I still kept getting flats. I kept going to the bicycle shop near me, not the one that I normally go to, which is Big Wheels, and I kept getting flats. And the gentleman told me, he said, the reason why you keep getting flats is because your tires are knobby. In other words, they have knobs, and then they have a lot of space in between. So whenever you go over like a terrain, that has like, not just grass but spikes in it, a spike will easily go into your tire and cause you to get a flat. So I gave up, but then one day when I was at Walmart, I saw that they had a tube that it said contains 20% more rubber and is designed so that you don't get a flat. So I was happy. I went ahead and bought it, and then I put it in, and then I had a bicycle again. It had been like 6 months to a year since I had a bike. It was almost like difficult to ride, but then I realized it's because I didn't have the lock on it. The lock adds weight to it, and then that's why it was so much easier to ride. It was so easy to ride that when I was making turns, I had to like slow down. You know, I was turning too fast. But anyways, as soon as I got my Trek fixed, the next day or the same day, the cassette, not the derailleur, the cassette got loose. So the top, so the so the chain, it started getting stuck in between the gears of the cassette. So essentially now I have no bike again. But then my friend Rob was kind enough to sell me one of his bikes for a very good price. I'm not even gonna say it. That's how good it was. And different style of bike than I'm used to. Like I said, it's a Dutch bicycle. But to be honest, it's probably one of the best bikes that I've ever known. It's not an aluminum frame. It's actual steel, but it's very versatile. It's got the basket in the front. It's got a little thing in the back where you, if you want, you can add like a milk crate. You know, you can you know, put like a little like this. I do this to my chair because someone who sat on this chair, I'm not gonna say who, broke it. But you see these bands that I put, you know, you could put one of these like rubber bands to so that you can add you can add another thing in the back, like a milk crate, which I have a couple of. I had one because well, obviously I was a DSD bender for a long time, so once in a while I would take a couple crate, you know, a couple of like you know, if I liked it I would take it, especially when I had my my Chevrolet Caprice Brome. Oh, that thing was a beaut. I'm so sad that I got rid of it, but at the same time, you know, at the time I thought it was for a good cause, and I still do think it was for a good cause, but it just didn't work out how I wanted it to. I didn't understand addiction fully at that time. Anyway, so I forgot where I was, but long story short, I remember that I had the tube and the rear tire, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was the cassette this time. So what I did was I just switched the tubes out, and with the Dutch bicycle, since it's single gear, it took me about 5 minutes to do it, and it was done. So now, you know, I'm hoping, knock on wood, especially because the princess yesterday when we were walking home, she said, "How come no bicycle?" And I felt so sad. So hopefully today I can surprise her. I can let her know Daddy fixed the bike, and so now we have a bike again. And what else? And I did other things too. I worked. I picked up some dead leaves on the side because we have our cassava plants growing there, and I don't want the like when we water the cassava plants, I don't want the leaves to like absorb the water as opposed to the soil, or I don't want it to have to like take a while for it. So I filled up a couple bags full of leaves, and then I just did my usual stuff. I made a short about my medication, which is not just for me, it's for everybody, especially people who suffer from depression. Me, I suffer from manic depression, later to be known as bipolar, and I also suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. So, and now this month, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay for it. Hopefully someone will come through and help me out. And someone also told me the other day, you know, don't live a life of begging or asking people for things. But all I have to say to that is, it is better to ask than to steal. And also, there's nothing wrong with asking. If you need help, you need help. So there's nothing wrong with that, my friends. Now, with all that being said, I'm sure this video is about 20 minutes long now, I imagine. So I just want to say goodbye. I would like to wish everybody a happy Thursday. May the 4th be with you. May peace and love be with every one of you. And also, if it's not too much to ask, may you please be kind to one another. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And bye. Have a great day.